that speak for itself. And now I'll speak for the smAshlights here at the Smash News Network. Now, we're the least busted name in news, as we're not really busted for very much at all, as I will not tell you a lie. I will just only tell you the truth, and that's the whole point of the Smash News Network. The smAshlights section is part of the Daily Space Weather. Now, if you're wondering about the origins of the Daily Space Weather, let me explain. The Daily Space Weather's origins come from the data that I look at every day, because I'm interested in the physics of things like how the Earth's geomagnetic field is generated, how stars and planets form, if they form, and so on and so forth. So from a cosmology perspective, the data that I look at, especially when people make certain claims about whether it's Nibiru or whether it's about stuff that's actually scientifically plausible, I like to see if those claims are backed up by anything. And I like to see the way things relate to each other, like, understand the physics, that sort of thing. And last but not least, I needed to have the solar data projected on a large screen instead of one of these tiny little devices. So that's the origin of the Daily Space Weather videos. And I noticed that absolutely nobody at all is doing the same thing on the internet, and so hence the show was born. I saw a need for the Daily Space Weather videos, so I created them. And through doing that, I noticed there are all kinds of things that I'd prefer not to talk about, but I'm compelled to talk about because of various different intrusions, injustices, nonsense, lies, and propaganda on the internet, in government, in corporations, and not only in mainstream media, but also in YouTube. Now, if you enjoy the content, please take a moment to press like and subscribe on YouTube, as the video cannot continue until you folks press like and subscribe. You got to press the notification bell also, and then we'll get on to talking about more stuff, such as alt tech. Yeah. So if you want me to sit here and talk about different social media sites all day, just don't press like and subscribe, and we'll just get very, very angry. We will start the place on fire, and we're not putting out the fire. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since my rage was spurning me on to say whatever the hell I want about whatever the hell I want. Now, we do stream live daily to Twitch. Again, if you want to see the content as it gets created, and we don't do every video here, we keep exclusive content on all different sites. We talk about COVID sometimes. Sometimes we even talk about how it's made in China. For you can... got him. Sometimes we talk about propaganda. Yes, yes. As there's lots of propaganda. Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on BitChute, Gab, Twitter. We're not making any. We're speaking truth to non-truth. And I don't know what's happened to mankind. Apparently, your clicks are the only thing that needs to be baited. So enjoy the propaganda. We won't be propagating any. Enjoy the COVID. Oh yeah. Enjoy the COVID. If you'd like a souvenir, you can find some at smashamash.com or .org. You'll be redirected. Let's talk about smashamash.com/forum. There's a 30-page section about coronavirus. It's at smashamash.com/forum. And it's our biggest hitter, actually, the coronavirus section. Not surprising, it's got tens of thousands of views. And what we did is we created a timeline from January 23rd until mid-July, when I stopped covering it, because it became statistically irrelevant in mid-July. So I guess you could say it was novel, in the same way that the common cold is novel. And we put up various information there about all kinds of viruses. So, I mean, the first thing I said about coronavirus is that it's not scary if you're healthy. And of course, that stands up like most things that I say. We even covered remdesivir on April 30th. So if you want to read about a nice timeline, and we didn't just link to the articles, we copy-pasted the bodies of the articles and all the links. So feel free to go have yourself a read if you'd like a real timeline. If you're sick of the propaganda and nonsense. Well, we were sick of the propaganda and nonsense even when Elon Musk was saying, what the F? We were definitely saying, what the F, over at smAsho.com/forum. That's in the free-for-all section. And let me talk about something not made in China. Something not made in China is our patrons. The patrons are the true source of funding to the content. As YouTube AdSense tries its hardest to pay us absolutely nothing. If you're not familiar with all of the different propagandistic effects caused by the Google junkware, Alphabet is the parent company of Google. And Google is a giant conglomerate which owns all kinds of things that you may not be aware of, such as Motorola. And I'm not going to get into it, but in any case, our patrons are the true source of funding for the content. Thanks to our patrons, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/smAshomash. We're going to be changing the tiers by the end of the year, probably eliminating the $1 and $2 tiers. So go check it out. There are currently 9. We'll probably keep 9 tiers, or perhaps we'll downgrade it to 7. Thanks again, patrons, the true source of funding for the content. Let's talk about how scary and spooky and scary. I'm just going to leave you there, COVID, because is it possible that COVID smells like flowers? Have you sniffed COVID? Have you sniffed COVID? Does it smell like flowers? Are you scared and spooked? Have you found yourself scared and spooked of the COVID? Let's talk about scary, spooky conversations. Oh my God, it's Eureka Alert. Eureka Alert's got some scary, spooky conversations going on. Turns out, conversation quickly spreads droplets inside buildings. Oh my God. Now I can definitely attest to this, as I have to clean off my monitor like every 2 weeks because I spit all over it. Look at the animation. Oh my God. Exhaled material. Were you aware that you live in a fluid? Were you aware that air is a fluid? Oh my God, it looks like a coronal mass ejection, but it's a coronal mass ejection coming out of this guy's face. Holy crap. That is spooky. Did you just find out in 2020 that life is risky? Did you just find out how to wash your hands in the year 2020? Did you not have any idea that there's a thing called antibiotic-resistant tuberculosis, which is the deadliest communicable disease on Earth? No? Oh, well, I'd be more than happy to inform you. And yes, if you're wondering if I'm an infectious disease expert, yes! The answer is yes. Because I started studying them by myself in the mid-90s when I kept getting strep throat and staph throat, which is part of the reason why I stopped smoking cigarettes. But in any case, the jet-like airflow quickly carries a spray of tiny droplets inside of buildings. Oh no, it makes me feel like the building could be on fire. Oh my God, it's so scary and spooky. Oh, the Smash News Network is burning and we're covered with coronavirus. Oh, allow me to put on my mask to protect my monitor. There we go. Now you're all safe. Do I look like a complete COVID idiot? Is my forehead made in China? China? If you're wondering about the presidential debate coverage, I didn't watch it, but I put it on DVR. And I will be covering it a little later in the day. Let's talk cosmology, which can be pretty scary and spooky as well. So welcome to the cosmology segment of the smAshlights. What about earthquake lightning? Now, I can explain the mysterious luminescence phenomenon, and the explanation is very simple. When you pass electrical current through granite, I don't know why this doesn't, it's just sitting there spinning. when you pass electrical current through granite, the electrical current finds the path of least resistance. And so you'll see discharges coming out of these areas, but not out of the quartz, because electric current doesn't want to pass through quartz. The electrons go around the quartz, and they go through these paths of least resistance. When rocks get compressed, they're known to create lightning, and this is what causes it. It's caused by the electron flux of the rocks. So in any case, mysterious luminescence phenomenon is totally understood, as not all things are electric, but the interaction between the Earth's ionosphere and its crust certainly are. Lightning certainly is, and not all lightning looks like lightning. Sometimes you can have massive electron flux. In other words, the way that electricity propagates through quartz is non-existent, but the way that electricity propagates through sandstone is totally different than the way electricity propagates through granite and through other subsurface strata layers. Now, I'm not going to talk about the way Earth's geomagnetic field is generated in this cosmology segment, but in any case, mysterious luminescence phenomenon is caused by electron flux. And so, in any case, let's talk about magnetars, specifically Magnetar PSRJ 1745-2900. Now, this thing orbits Sagittarius A star at only 1 light year. It could be the most powerful magnet in the galaxy. Now, of course, I would suggest that probably Sagittarius A star is a more powerful magnet than Magnetar PSRJ 1745-2900. But, nonetheless, it is a close magnetar to Sagittarius A star. There you can see its location as well as a differently focused image. And so this one's in the news today, and the story is about dark matter, and I'm not going to bore you by talking about WIMPs and axions and stuff like that. But there's where it's located, right at the galactic core, only 1 light year from Sagittarius A star, which is the massive radio source at the core of the Milky Way galaxy. You'll see articles all about it talking about dark matter detectors. Now, some of us don't believe in dark matter. I was laughing and laughing and laughing about WIMPs, otherwise known as weakly interacting massive particles, as early as 1994. I became a legit physics nerd in 1992 when I took high school physics, and realized that I knew way more about it than I had any business knowing already, which led to some interesting conversations in physics and astronomy classes, to say the least. Anyway, radio astronomy is indeed the way of the future. I didn't believe teachers and professors who told me that back in the mid-90s, but hey, they're correct. Radio astronomy, it's the way to go. smAshlight.com/forum is also the way to go. There's a whole cosmology forum there. You should totally check it out. smAshlight.com/forum. It's part of the Smash News Network. By the way, we've been making merch, and now we're submitting merch ideas. Why? Because we're going to have an October contest. We're going to give away a free shirt. We haven't decided whether it's going to be only for Patreons or not. It may only be for patrons at patreon.com/smashamash, or it may be for everybody, or it may be only for certain Patreon tiers. I'm not sure yet. Were you aware that the sun is made of condensed matter and not plasma? That the plasma is on the surface of the sun, not on the interior of the sun? Were you aware? All right, well, we'll talk about it at a later time. By the way, if you follow us on Instagram, you may see exclusive content, such as this fantastic nature photo, or perhaps an image of our live premiere chats. For some reason, I couldn't add a moderator. Hey, Tim Casper, if you're watching, you are a moderator. Whether or not Google recognizes it, you are a monitor. By the way, don't forget to get outside, folks. Get out. Get out. As in, outside. It's good for you. Like our daily space weather videos. And here ends another episode of the smAshlights. We hope you weren't too frightened. It is time to get back to space weather and calm your fears.